Well, you know you're supposed to have it on.
You can't let me go with that.
No, I can't. I can't let you go without an ID. You know the rules. But the rules state that you gotta have your ID on at all times, correct? Do you know? Have you read your planner?
No,
All right. It's on the planner. It's stated on the planner that you should be wearing your ID at all times. And it also says on the back of the ID that when a security guard approaches you and they ask you for an identification, you're supposed to show it. And that's, that's how you comply with the rules. Now, do you know what the consequence are for not having an ID?
No, I don't care.
You honestly don't care?
No.
Well, you know what? Your attitude, with that attitude that you have, you know what? You might not last long in this school. I mean, school has many rules that need to be followed. Now, if you go on in life with not obeying the rules, guess what? You're not going to make it here, you're not going to make it anywhere. So, obviously, you just don't want to comply. So are you still going to not comply with the rules?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what? I'm going to issue you a ticket right now. You're going to go down to your dean. How many other tickets have you had already?
4.
4? Well, you know what? You might still have a baby like one more, and then they start sending you ISS. But you know what? Since you're going to give me attitude, it looks like you don't care. You just plain don't care. You know what? We're going to skip that 5th ticket, and I'm just going to issue a report. Okay? Who's your dean?
Contreras.
Okay, let's go to your dean.
Welcome to Joliet Central, home of the Steelmen. Our unique school carries unique diversity amongst our students. Our students follow our characteristics: perseverance, integrity, responsibility, tolerance, respect, confidence, and compassion. But do students actually follow these characteristics? I don't think so. In Joliet Central, if you were to break a rule, you get sent to ISS, in-school suspension. But is ISS really a good form of punishment for people to be disciplined in school? Me and my colleagues decided to interview different people about their points of views of ISS. Some agreements, some disagreements, but hey, we both want change to people to get something productive out of ISS.
Peace is what teachers hope students receive after ISS. Others disagree, others want change.
Do you think that ISS is the best form of discipline?
Here at Joliet Central, I would say no. I think there's better ways to discipline students.
And what do you think would be the best form of discipline to be brought on?
I think every student situation needs to be treated on a case-by-case basis between the dean and the student. But at its beginning stages, it might just be the dean talking to the student to get the student's attention. It could be the dean doing a conference call with the parent and the student being present, or just between the dean and the student. As the severity of the misbehavior increases, what I think would work better than ISS is giving the student after-school detention. And the after-school detention wouldn't be immediate. The student would be notified that they had been selected to receive an after-school detention, and then they would have no more than, say, 1 week in which to serve that detention. Parent, guardian be notified about the detention. Detention probably be 1 hour in duration. If the student blew off the detention, failed to show up on the assigned day, then again the dean could get involved and increase the consequences of failing to show up for detention.
How do you feel about a student getting sent to ISS?
I think it's counterproductive, because you want students to succeed in high school. To me, they need to be in the classroom. They need to be learning the material for the different classes that they're taking. And when you take a student out of the classroom and you put them in ISS, you're just putting them further behind. And yes, that penalizes the student, but it also makes the life of a teacher more difficult too, because now I've got a student that missed 1 day, 2 days, 3 days because they were in ISS when they could have been sitting in my classroom.
Alright, how do you feel about ISS?
I feel that ISS is not a correct form of punishment, and I don't think it works.
What do you think another way to do
Instead of ISS, I think that we should definitely form after-school detentions instead, because it takes away their own personal time instead of like the school's time.
Do you think ISS like actually works like with kids? Like, do you think they come out different like when they go to ISS?
I think ISS just takes away from like the classroom experience and like learning, and that I feel like it doesn't affect them for school-wise. I think it does the opposite effect of what it should have, and that, I don't know.
Alright, do you think that ISS is the best form of discipline?
No, I do not think ISS is the best form of discipline in this high school.
Do you think that another form of discipline can be brought on?
I would love to see another form of discipline be brought on. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what kind would be better. The thing that irks me about ISS is the fact they have the kids do so much writing. Why don't you have them do math problems? And why don't you have them do science experiments? And why don't you have them do calisthenics? Because when you have them write all the time, when we get them into English class, they don't want to write anymore. So that's why I'm not a fan of the writing.
How do you feel about sending the kid to ISS?
If the student did something in my room that warrants him getting sent to ISS, I'm all for it. Again, what happens is the student does something in another class and gets sent to ISS, and then it impacts my class because he is sent to ISS during my class time, and that I do not like.
Do you think that students that enter ISS change behavior habits after they leave ISS?
I know they don't like to go back because they don't like the writing component. I don't know how much of a factor that is in getting them to change their behavior, though. I just don't know.
How do you feel? What's your personal opinion about ISS?
I feel like it's like a good threat because nobody wants to go, but it's not like that bad. It's just a waste of time to get out of class.
Do you feel like it changed your experience and how you like go back, like for what you did on ISS? Like what made you get into ISS?
I've been to ISS for tardies 4 or 5 times this year, but obviously it didn't change because I kept on getting ISS for tardies. But now I don't want to go to ISS anymore because it's like boring. So I guess I try to avoid it. So I guess I'm on time. So I guess it kind of worked in a way.
Is there a better way to handle ISS?
Besides doing ISS, do you think like there's something else like school will be able to do?
It's probably better than like out of school suspension because I feel like it's worse than that. Like it's a better punishment. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's that great of a punishment. Like the kids who are in there are always like making fun of the guys that run it, and it's just like a big joke. So it's not.
Oh yeah, that's one of the questions. Do you think like the kids in there get special treatment from like the ISS teachers?
I feel like the ISS teachers like the time I was in there, like this kid was like screaming in his face and like saying all this like really funny stuff, and everybody was just like laughing at the guy that was like doing it. Like
So
the inmates are running the prison.
Do you think that ISS is the best form of discipline?
No, I think in some cases it works. In some it just scares people. I walked into that room last year and it just feels evil. I'm not sure it's getting a whole lot across that way. And writing stuff doesn't prove a point.
Okay. Next question is, do you think that another form of discipline can be brought on?
I like violence, but that's not what I'm going to say. I can't think of another one. I've read studies, and I haven't seen anything that's been working. More parental involvement will help. If your parents have to come in every time you get in trouble, pretty sure you'll stop getting in trouble. So that might be an option.
All right. How do you feel about a kid getting sent to ISS?
I don't care for it. I try and I don't sign cards when I should because I don't want them out of my class. I want them in class to learn, and if they're not here, they can't learn what I want them to.
Okay. Do you believe that different kids get special treatment during ISS?
During ISS, I don't know. I haven't been in there. But I know different kids get different treatments. I know that's true. And that's kind of true of life, so it's a good lesson to learn, I suppose.
Yep. Okay. Do you think that students that enter ISS change behavior habits after they leave ISS?
I think some do, but some don't. It's just like, well, prison, where sometimes it works for people and sometimes it doesn't.
All right.
Are you recording? Okay. What is your opinion about how you feel about ISS?
ISS. It's a waste of time. Basically it. Sit in there, you write. Like, they don't even give you an assignment, like an actual assignment that you have to look questions for. No, you have to copy down what's in the packet onto a piece of paper, and that's just about it. And it gets really, really, really boring.
Did it feel like it helped you at all?
You know.
Just cut.
And ISS, like the kids that go there, like, do they get special treatment from the ISS teacher?
Certain students, yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, no, if you're a good student, if you're following the rules there, you'll get treated better than someone who's like disruptive. But then again, that's the case with all classes, so we can't really go off of that.
Okay. From whatever reason you went to ISS for, did it?
No, it did not help me. I did not learn anything, and I continue doing it to this day.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, do you think that ISS is the best form of discipline?
ISS is one of the tools we use to discipline students here at school. I wouldn't say there's any necessarily best. It's just different methods we use to discipline students here. The purpose for ISS is to dissuade kids from misbehaving in school. So in that sense, you know what, we try to make sure that it's as uncomfortable as possible for students, so that way they don't want to go back.
Hey, do you think that another form of discipline can be brought on?
I'm sure there's different methods, other ways to discipline students, as long as it's investigated, researched, and proposed through the right channels. And I'm sure the powers that be would look into it and decide if they want to incorporate some other form of discipline besides ISS.
So after interviewing teachers and students, we proposed the idea we start a petition, make people on the school sign it to change the way we discipline our students, because we believe that ISS does not help discipline our students at Willow Central High School.
I feel ISS is stupid. I don't think anybody takes ISS serious, and nobody thinks of it as a consequence.
Yeah, I feel like it's just
You're
somewhere
doing
you can
something
get out of
bad,
class.
you're not
Right? Like, oh, hey, I'm going to ISS. I get to get out of class today. You know?
I'm going to ISS.
Yay!
It's not, you're supposed to be
It's going there and you write.
it's supposed to be where you learn. You're supposed to learn from ISS. You don't really. Everybody goes to ISS all the time. The same people over and over again.
You just go to class for the same thing, and you're not going to learn anything.
I never even read what's on the packet, to be honest. I just read whatever.
I don't know. I think they need something new. How about you, Kevin?
I already said what I had to say. I've never been to ISS.
Me either. I've been there twice, and I didn't even have to write. They pretty much just took me out of class. It was stupid.
Something funny. She was in ISS last week, right?
How
The irony. The irony.